Jonathan Yan. He's from China.
Yes. Do you know him, I hope?
I know him. He's from Shanghai. Jonathan?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Jonathan.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Welcome to the world of internet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, and here are our friends from... Oh, I think, there we go. Hello.
Oh, they're all together in one room. A lot of people. Wow.
This is, I must tell you, this is not a room you are looking at. This is a Beit Midrash that they have built in Nigeria.
Unbelievable.
Yes, unbelievable. And it's really wonderful. We have put together some of our friends here from Shanghai and Beijing, and also from Jerusalem.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. How to say hello in a country in Nigeria?
I said, Kedu Kedi, Kedu mere.
Kebu? Oh, Hui Ru is also from China.
Yeah. Yes, my friend.
It would be very nice, and Yehuda was happy to agree that maybe to start the class this time, maybe we'll begin with some music. And Yehuda will play some Jewish, Israeli, Jerusalem songs for you. When you come again into the People's Talmud, those of you I know that are already registered and are familiar. So on the People's Talmud, you have a page which is called Content Providers. If you click on this, it opens up much more information as well. And one of them, you see here, it says Yehuda Katz. This is the gentleman in our Zoom class. So after you hear the music and the songs, if you want, you can come up here to this little menu and simply click on one of them. And you'll notice now the TV is alive, and you click here where it says live, which is Yehuda, and you'll see a whole bunch of music Torah videos that Yehuda and I put together a couple of years ago. So that's as way as a background, so you know where you'll be able to find more of Yehuda's music and Torah. Hold on, we got a whole bunch of people coming in now from, wow, from Nigeria and from China and from Jupiter. Whoa!
It's another planet.
There you go. Okay, Yehuda, I hand it over to you.
Oh, okay. We're ready. I was just. Okay. On behalf of my brothers and friends, on behalf of my sisters and friends, please let me sing. Please let me sing. Peace to you. Lemana chayvere'ai. Lemana chayvere'ai. Adabrana, adabrana. Shalom.
Wow.
It was written by my
Beautiful song.
by my wonderful friend and teacher of blessed memory, Rabbi Shlomo Carlebach wrote this and carried this message around the world. It's called The Dance of the Forest, or Rikud Haya'ar. La 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 let's go. La 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 one more time. La 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 let's go, everybody. Okay. There you go. So, thank you very much for letting me share a little time with you. And we look forward to welcoming you here to come together and we'll sing and dance together in Holy Land.
When can
Eretz
we be
Yisrael.
there?
We're ready. We're ready. Okay.
I
I need a
promised.
visa.
I promised Yehud I wouldn't keep him later than 4:20. So it's already 20 minutes past 4. Thank you so much for joining us, Rabbi Yehuda. You're welcome to stay, but you don't need to if you don't want to. It's fine.
Okay, I might have to mute myself for a minute and answer that call. I'll see. Bezat Hashem. Thank you very much, everybody. Pleasure.
All right. Toda,
Thank you,
toda rabba.
Yehuda.
All right. So we're going to use this time that we still have left for our class. As this is a weekly class that I've been honored to be able to share with my brothers and sisters of the Igbo. And it's wonderful to have my dear friend Da'at and her friends from China, Niaoma. So very nice to meet you. We've been going along the stories of the Bible, and we have been teaching the ideas that which makes the Bible different in its Jewish is that what we call the oral Torah, the oral tradition that goes along with the story. Because many times you can read a story, but without an insight as to what that story means, then maybe it could be the main deep ideas could be lost. And of course, everything is said without any offense to any other religion, be it Christian, be it Muslim. All human beings are trying to find their way to God, and we should learn how to do that together. However, there is one path, which is the Jewish path. That's something which I can share with you, and that's what we've been doing, especially when we began looking a couple of weeks ago at creation in a very different sort of a world. And then we moved last week into the story of Noah, or as we were like the Dutch, Noach, get that little in there. So too, now we're moving into the story of Abraham, Avraham. And we spoke a little bit about that just at the end of when we spoke about Noah. We talked about him as a child discovering God at the age of 3 years old. I thought about that when Yehuda did the song of Dancing in the Forest, that Avraham as a little boy was walking in the forest and he saw a house with a light, and he realized that just like somebody must have lit that light, so too he looked at the stars and he said, somebody must have lit these lights. And that was the beginning of his awareness of God. And as his awareness grew, he told about the story that his father, Nimrod, used to make these big giant idols out of stone and gold and wood. And he would sell these idols because people believed that this idol would bring them this and this idol would bring them that. And one day the parents went away and they left little Abraham to watch the store. And when he was watching the store, he took a huge hammer and he smashed all of the idols but the biggest one. And he put the hammer in that one's hand. And when the parents came back and they said, "Oh, what's happened? Who destroyed all of these?" He said, "Hey, maybe it's the one over there with a big hammer. Go talk to him." And the father said, "What are you, stupid? These things don't hear. They don't think. They're only rocks and wood." And Abraham says, "Exactly. It cannot be God." But then in contrast with that, we told another story, which was, this is kind of like when you watch a TV show and you miss the last episode, they give you a little bit just to get you ready for the new episode. So that's what we're doing right now. So Abraham built a tent that had 4 front doors. In other words, metaphorically speaking, no matter where a person was coming from, they would always feel welcome. No matter where they were, they would always come to his house and feel like they came to the front door and they were welcome. And Abraham would give huge, huge meals. And one man at the end of the meal came over and he said, "Listen, I would like to pay for this meal. How much money do I owe you?" And Abraham says, "No, you don't have to pay any money. It's my gift to you. The only thing I would like to ask of you is that you thank God for the food that you ate." So the little man said, "Sure, no problem." And he reaches into his robe and he pulls out a little idol. And he starts to pray to the little idol. And Abraham starts to yell at him. He says, "Are you crazy? Do you think this stupid little piece of clay created the universe and all of the miracles? Are you out of your mind?" And the man got very scared and he dropped the idol and he fell on the idol and died. And a voice came from heaven of God, very upset, and said to Abraham, "Who killed this man?" And Abraham said, "Hey, I didn't kill him. I was only defending your," meaning God's, "honor." And God said, "You're defending my honor?" And Abraham said, "Yes, I gave him a wonderful meal of all the food that you create, and he couldn't say thank you to him, to God." And God said back, "I don't understand you, Abraham. I fed this man for 70 years, and I never got angry once, even though he didn't know who God was. I never got angry." And so we learn from this that this is the idea of Abraham as he in his young days, he learns the idea of what we call kindness. In Hebrew, the word for kindness is pronounced chesed. If you are familiar with the Hebrew letters, there are 3 letters, chet, samich, daled, chesed. And what do these 3 letters teach us about kindness? The first 2 letters of the word chesed, chet, samich, is the word chas. Chas in Hebrew means to have pity, to feel, to care for somebody not as fortunate as we are. And the letter daled, which is the last of the 3 letters, in fact, comes from the word dal, which means poor. So the very word in Hebrew, which means kindness, means to have pity on the poor. Chas daled, chesed, to do kindness for the poor. Now, the question is, what is called poor? David once said, "Ani ve'evion ani." I am poor, and these are the 2 words for poor, ani and evion. I am poor. Now, King David was very rich. King David had huge amounts of gold. King David was the king of Israel. King David's son, King Solomon, brought a world together that was so rich, people didn't even pay attention to money anymore. So how could King David refer to himself as poor? The answer is because he realizes that everything he has is God's. It's not his. He is merely the vessel. And this is hinted at in his name. We said a minute ago that in the word kindness, chesed, the letter dalid means poor. Look at King David's name in Hebrew. It has this letter dalid twice. It's dalid, vav, dalid. So on both sides of King David's name is the word for poor. And in the middle is the Hebrew letter vav, which is like a pipe, which is something which comes down and brings flow from above. So the middle letter, which is the letter vav, is like a pipe that flows from above to below. So King David, on both sides of his life, his wealth and his wisdom, he regarded himself all the time as poor and realized that everything he had only was that which flowed from heaven down to him. And that's why he referred to himself as a poor person. And therefore, even if you have a lot of money, even if you're very rich, you realize that this is a gift from God that we are responsible to use as a tool to tikkun olam, to make our world a better place for everybody to be able to live. Then we understand that we are all poor. And once we are all poor, then it's very easy to be able to give to somebody else because we realize that what we give to somebody else is really what God gave to me as well. So this is the idea of Abraham. He went in serving God in the way that he understood. And even when it meant doing something completely radical and different than what he understood, he made the change because it was all about God. It wasn't all about him. And therefore he was able to sanctify even his body and take complete control over his life and make it holy. All right. So thank you very much. I hope we'll be able to come again next week. Certainly with the permission of the Igbo, if it's okay. The friends from China and Jupiter are also more than welcome to join. And I hope next Sunday I'll have a different friend with a guitar. So we'll hear a little different music maybe to begin with as well. And I just really want to thank everybody, bless everybody. This is a very, very holy moment in heaven when people from around the world are able to come together and share so much light and love. So thank you all very much. And we'll see you all next week. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.